Hi, everyone, and welcome to the best chat with me, Espen Haugen, and our guest today in this interview, Jen Kazmierczak, and the beautiful leader of Best Life. And wow, it's going to be a fun expansion. How are you, Jen, today?
I am doing amazing, and I'm so happy to be here with you today, Espen. This is going to be so much fun. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. And I'm you are a lot about you are in this this flow of energy and a lot of with the Abraham. What is it that things that satisfies you most in your life? Tell me your feel good stories.
Oh, my feel good stories. Well, I love personally just that space of becoming. I love newness. Right? I love it. I love knowing that every moment is brand new. I love all the feeling and flowing forward we do in Best Life. You can tell even the words I use, right? It's lots of very forward flowing words, things that are in that space. But I really it's my sweet spot. I think it's all of our sweet spot, whether we know it or not. It's that wonderful space where the greater aspect of us, we call it our inner being, or you can call it your soul, your life force energy, where that part of you is, and it's and it's calling you forward. And when you really can align with that, everything feels so good. Everything has a space of joy and wonderment, and I so appreciate everything that has brought me to this point. Everything in my life has served me well. But where I'm at now and where we're going, oh, wow. So much fun. Such a delight. Yeah.
So beautiful, Jen. And tell me about, because you are a Best Life leader, and how are you, how are you start your day, and what's your feel good day for starting up and then move on and feeling that becoming you talk about and being in that space of your own alignment, your own presence.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I don't have a same way I start every day, but almost guaranteed there's going to be a kitty or something involved in waking me up, maybe somewhere along the line, right? Or sometimes my phone rings. I have a delightful friend that calls me from New York in the morning sometimes. So sometimes I'll get an early morning phone call. But either way, I always or sometimes I just wake up on my own, or sometimes there's an alarm. So there's not really a set anything for that, but I always wake up in a feel-good space. Now, there's a reason for that, and that's because the night before I go to sleep, and I fall asleep very easily, but I always am in a place of appreciation. I set my intention for a delightful rest and a beautiful wake up in the morning. And it always is. And I'm very deliberate about taking those few moments, right, to really savor the comfort of my bed, or the beautiful person laying next to me, right? Thank you, honey. Or a kitty that might be purring somewhere, or even the phone that rings, right? And just being in that space. And then I just flow forward with whatever presents. My morning always includes time for meditation. But I really initially always, because there always is a little bit of variation, I always just set my intention before each piece that I'm going into. And I make it very general, and I make it very flowing, and it creates the most delightful momentum in the day. And I'm very blessed because pretty much every weekday when my daughter's on her way to work, she calls me, on her own, which is such a blessing. And I get random calls from my son too, or our son, I could say Scott too, and those are just wonderful things. But and then I just do whatever I'm inspired to. Sometimes I'll read a little bit. Sometimes I'll listen to an Abraham. I definitely, just come into a space of joy and appreciation with whatever I'm doing, whether it's making the coffee, or, chatting on the phone for a bit, or, feeding the cats, or cuddling with the kitty, or meditating. All of it has such an element of joy. such an element of newness. And,
Mm.
I really love that, feeling the newness of each time I make the coffee, or each time, I hold that warm cup afterwards and just savor that time. And each time of meditation too. And I don't spend hours on end meditating. I typically, meditate for 15 or 20 minutes. And then of course, Espen, I always, I participate in your meditation as well. Um, yeah, so that's kind of the beginning of the day, and I just let the rest unfold. Um,
Oh,
yeah, always.
you're so inspiring, Jen, with that, and with always flowing forward, always present and forward focused energy, and it's such an inspiration for all of us. So, tell me about the best life. How all this come to place for you, and now you look at how you look at that in best life
Hmm.
now in the future, but it's always in the present and becoming more
Hmm.
and forward focused. So tell me more about that.
Yeah. Well, best life is just, it's the most divine manifestation that came from my vortex, right? And this was actually the concept, the idea of this. I didn't even know what it was, right? Um, was created a few years ago. Because I would have pretty regular early morning calls with a friend that I referenced earlier, where we would leverage. We would really take time to kind of just feel where we're going, right? We just feel in that nice energy, and we spend a lot of time appreciating, always appreciating. And then we just kind of silently sit in that energy, for a few minutes each day. Well, all I knew was back then that there was something inside of me that I wanted to share and express. I had no idea it would be best life. I had no idea what it would look like. But here's the thing, it just presented itself. Everything
Mm.
presented itself. And that's kind of been how virtually everything in my life has been. I feel it on a grand scale, like I feel it, right? Don't know exactly what it
Mm.
looks like. I mean, I knew I wanted to share with people. I knew I love people. I know the positivity, the forward flowingness, the appreciation, the time of leveraging or meditation. I loved all of that. Um, and, just, going in that direction. And the things just came. And when they came, because I was feeling good, I could see and feel them. And I truly believe the things we want are always kind of dancing around us. They're always waiting for us to come into a space of being able to vibrationally receive them and to delight in the joyful unfoldment of them, right? Because they're never going to look exactly as we probably envisioned, right? Because what we've created has never been upon this universe before. And I love that. That's why I started out saying I
Mm.
love newness. I love that. And even though there has been, other personal development companies or other things like that, there's never been one like this, right? And where we're going, they've all, many of them have gone many tremendous, incredible places, but we're going somewhere different. Um,
So can you tell
because,
me more? So can you tell me more about that difference and what you feel about the best life and becoming
mhm,
of that? What you
yeah,
now look
yeah.
inside of yourself.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So, you know, both Scott and I, we started our kind of this self discovery, personal development journey. Young, right? Um, 18. I was 18 when I started. And, learned so many different things, many different modalities. And all of it has served me well. But along that path, I also, was able to sift and sort and decide, this feels really good. I remember the first time, because I was raised Catholic, but the first time when I really um, felt the concept that I wasn't my body, right? I was something greater than that. I was young, right? And really, really understood that on a grander scale, how that transformed everything for me. but then, kind of sifting and sorting, moving forward. And at first, because I didn't know, I listened to a lot of things outside of myself, right? I listened to a lot of experts, so to speak, a lot of people that had different formulas and things. And they were all very well-intentioned people, all of that. But as I, came forward, I really came to discover what we really expand on in Best Life is that we all have our own direct connection, right? We all have our own unique guidance. And that's what we really aspire to do in Best Life, is to help you feel good, feel who you really are, understand who you really are and your value and your importance in the universe, and then to feel and flow in your own guidance. We share from a space of, being in alignment, but we never look for anybody or anything to parrot us or copy us, so to speak, like say our words or those kinds of things, but instead to feel your energy. And it's a little hard to put in words because I love the saying, words don't teach. It's life experience that does. And that is the absolute truth. So, we really put a lot of emphasis on feeling, right? The emotional component of your thoughts, right? And how does that feel? How does that feel for you? One, kind of just on an emotional sense, but even how does it feel in your body? And to really tune into those things. And a lot of times, we've been conditionalized or trained or motivated by something outside of ourselves to push through things or to go against those feelings and just do it anyway, kind of, so to speak. And all coming from very well-intentioned places, for sure. But there is something so much more divine when you tap in to that, your own connection, and you can assist others in feeling their own connection as well. So, yeah, does that answer the question, Espen?
So good. Thanks for everything you share. And
yeah,
speaking about the feeling, and I know in Best Life we are using many of these material of Abraham Hicks. So do you love to expand more about Abraham and what you feel that we having that material and using it and in many classes and many different things? As we have been in seminars, we have been in events, holding our own seminars and events. And do you love to expand on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to. So I was first introduced to Abraham Hicks through a book called Ask and It Is Given. And I don't know exactly, probably about 10-ish years ago, give or take a little. It was when the book was quite new. And I remember reading it and only being able to read a few paragraphs or maybe a page, and then I'd have to just kind of set it down and I'd feel it. And it was really, really amazing. But I was also at that same time involved in definitely some other, part of my personal development journey. And some other things. So, as much as that information was resonating within me and I could feel it, there was other external things coming in as well. So I kind of had it, but not all the way, right? I could feel it, but I didn't fully integrate it at that point. But it was there. It was definitely there, and it was in a space of becoming. And then, as we really in Best Life flowed forward, a couple of years ago, started to really feel that resonance more, started to really connect with these concepts of ease and relaxation and feeling that interconnection. Because I myself personally, and I'll say this just for myself, I started to understand on a deeper level how some of those motivated messages, although they were maybe resonating with others, they weren't necessarily my messages, right? They weren't the ones that were true to me. Not saying they're bad, right? They just, they weren't connecting and resonating with me. So I started to really tap into that, really who I really am, and that power, that pleasure, really was what maintains that connection. And we had a big transformation. So a little over a year ago, Scott and I and our 2 kids, we went to Abraham Workshop in Chicago as a family. And that was such a transformation, such a confirmation of everything that we're doing in Best Life now. And I'll say this in a way, because it's not to parrot Abraham, because I feel that the guidance, I mean, I so appreciate everything they say and do, right? I really do follow their training a lot, and we utilize it in Best Life, but I'm really feeling it in my own way, right? I'm feeling that connection. And I know all the people in Best Life are, and the people that participate in our workshops, and hopefully you are too. You're feeling the value of that direct connection. And every day, right? Every day. Yeah. It's so great.
It's so valuable.
Yeah.
It feels so good. And it's always like so present and forward focused. Like it never looks back, but forward focus and the newness, like you say. And I feel like the whole energy with creating the best stuff, it's so wonderful. Just being on the classes, being on the Facebook Live, hear people's stories, and everyone have a feel good story to share, and what's working out, and being more focused in the direction of that feels best for them. And can you explain about, we're using all the same source energy, but we experience differently. Can you explain things around that for people?
Yeah. Well, I love this topic. It makes me so happy. And some people would call it diversity, right? I really love this. It's because, here's how I like to say it. We all come from one source. One power source. You can call that God, you can call it universe, you can call it Allah, or whatever. It's one source. We all come from one source, and that source is of pure love and light. And but as we come from that source, we each have our own unique perspective, right? When we come into this wonderful existence here in this wonderful universe on planet Earth, right? We each see things a little differently, but we all connect back into that one pure source. And it's so incredible knowing that my vantage point and the way I see things and my experiences and how I feel and flow is unique to your perspective, which is unique to somebody who lives on the other side of the world, and somebody who speaks a totally different language, and somebody, right? But it's all contributing to our becoming. We're all coming into this wonderful space. And I so appreciate, because, right before we were doing this interview, Espen, we had a workshop, and it was so fantastic because it had people from, there was somebody on there from Canada, somebody on there, a couple people on from Norway, right? You were on there, Espen, and some people from Holland, and some people from the United States. And, really coming into a space of appreciation for that diversity, for how we are all contributing to one another. And, what we do in Best Life, and what we're doing really here, is not to try and all be the same, or to say we have this litmus test and we all aspire to these set beliefs, but instead to just feel our connection, and appreciate every person, every animal, every part of it, and know it's all part of a bigger whole. And I love that so much. I love that we translate things into different languages. I love that we have a global reach. I love the uniqueness, the diversity, and the newness that presents each and every day. Yeah, so good. Did I answer your question? I don't know.
Yeah, it's so good. Everything you share, it's always so good, Jen. So thanks for that. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. And for, I love to ask you a question then. So there is like a beautiful, many people may, asking, why am I here? Why am I here? Like that question is like a big question, man. But what is, how do you like to share that with people? who's listening
Yeah.
here?
Yeah. Well, I would love to say you're here because you wanted to be here. You chose to be here to have this wonderful experience, to well, and I'll use Abraham's words because I think they're very good. That they said each of us came to this wonderful existence to, number one, experience joy, to really feel good. You could say joy, happiness, love, all of those feel good frequencies and vibrations, to feel that. So they just sum it up with saying joy, to be so free. We all came to be free, recognizing that we can focus in the direction of our source where we came and feel so good, all those higher frequencies, just like source feels, that pure love and light, or we can focus away from it. We can hold ourselves apart from it. And we can experience different emotions and different experiences. And to recognize that either direction, if we're flowing in the direction of what we desire, or for flowing away from it, all of it creates delightful expansion. Because when we ask, right, when we ask, it's always given. And I like to expand that out too by saying that doesn't mean necessarily asking with your words. It's really kind of that sifting and sorting that we do in life. If we come into a situation where we feel like we don't have enough of something, we know that we prefer more. And our inner being, that greater aspect of who we are, says, well, yes, of course, we have that more that you desire, that abundance. Or if somebody is rude to us, we know, oh, we prefer love, right? And that potential is there. Or any of the things that we desire. Because when we ask, it's always given. As we live our life and we say, I prefer this, or no, maybe not so much that. Our inner being goes, you would like this. I have it. Come this way. Come match it. And, we get to choose how, if we kind of flow in that direction into an easy space of receival, or if we kind of want to hold ourselves apart, because we are so free and our freedom is so valuable. Always. And even when we're holding ourselves in a part of separation, there's still great value. And even for those, in our society that maybe from our vantage point, we might think, wow, they're really holding themselves away from source, right? Or they're not that nice of people, right? Or whatever it is, or they're any feeling you have about that. But then going, you know what? But thank you. Thank you, because you're expanding all that is from their perspective or life experience of something that's not desired. Their source energy, our source energy, is saying, but we have this great love, we have this great abundance, we have this wonderful success, this thriving, this feeling of acceptance, whatever it is that is desired. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Mm-hmm.
I love that, Jan. And I love to read something from Aram. I got a feeling of it. And she shared it today, 4 hours ago.
Mm-hmm.
And he said the subject, so I talk about money. The subject of money is really two subjects. Money, plenty of money is one. One is money and plenty of money. And two, absence of money, not early enough money. Often people assume that because they are speaking the words, I want more money, they are speaking positively about money. What you are feeling, when you are feeling fear or discomfort as you speak, you are not speaking of the subject of money. You are speaking of the subject of not enough money. And the difference is very important, because the first statement brings money and the second holds it away. And that's what you talk about, when you speak the words, when we share those things we share here, and what you share is really not about the words itself, but it's always the feelings behind it. Can you expand on that?
I would love to. Yeah.
Where do you feel these feelings?
I
Where do you feel these
it
feelings?
all through my heart chakra and all throughout my solar plexus and radiating through my arms, right? Right? Because it's so true. And I love that you read that, Espen, because this is another, thing which helping people to understand the difference or what was really stated there can change everything. in the results a person is seeing in their life and their level of happiness. And to recognize, right? Okay, so if you recognize, hey, I don't have enough money, I have a shortage of money. Okay. And so instantly you recognize that your inner being, that extension of source energy, goes, abundance of money, here it is, we have it. It's here for you, and it begins calling you to it. But if you're stuck in that place of wanting the money, I want the money, I need the money, please more money, please more money, the law of attraction, right, which is the law that governs our universe, it says, well, you are wanting, so we're going to have you experience more wanting, right? Here's more wanting, here's more feelings of lack, here's more feelings of neediness, right? So as long as you can stay stuck in that frequency, guess what? You get more of that. And so what we help people to really see is that it's so good you recognize that. Fantastic. And then to gently shift your focus, right? To call it pivot, shift your focus in the direction of something that feels better. Because isn't it true? If you noticed you had a lack of money, you feel that an abundance of money would feel better. And that's true of everything we desire. So, and sometimes it's just simply, helping people to feel better generally, right? Because sometimes maybe that money, it's a little too stressful. So maybe even saying, oh, I have an abundance of money, they might be like, I don't believe that. But you can help them see you have an abundance of love in your life. You have an abundance of, a beautiful sun that rises every day. You have an abundance of, maybe you have a wonderful pet who just adores you. You have an abundance of fresh air to breathe. You have an abundance of clean water. You have an abundance of food. You help them to see and begin to appreciate the abundance in their life. Because when you start feeling, oh, I am abundant. Oh, this is really good. I always have gas in my car. I can travel anywhere I want. I have an abundance of freedom. I have an abundance of love, right? Well, that's the frequency that allows, that abundance of, more specifically, money to come. And we just help people to feel good. And, even on a general sense, the most important thing is to feel good. Because everything you desire, whether it's a relationship, more money, a new home, a new car, better health, anything, absolutely anything, is because you believe it will feel better. So when you can shift your feelings, your emotions, the things that you're seeing and perceiving in your life to a feeling better place, and appreciation is a great way to do that, things will come to start to match that. First, you'll just feel that abundance of feelings, right? But then soon those physical manifestations will follow there shortly thereafter. So, yeah, I love it.
It's so good.
I know,
Thanks for
it
sharing,
feels so good. Yeah.
And it's so good that you speak about, because when you say it's not the words you say, but it's always the feelings behind it. And if you could leading yourself to feel a little bit better, and moving into that direction, and you're having that momentum, you feel a little bit better. Like you say, you start looking around you and say, hey, there's abundance of this, and you start to feel the feelings. Then when you are in alignment, all of these things more unfold to you, and you feel more present in your energy. So speak about the present,
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, there's the most important piece, right, with your present, right, is to be okay with it, right? To be in a place of being okay, and or you could call that being satisfied with it. Now, that doesn't mean you need to be delighted with it. You don't need to be like, I'm super excited and exuberant over my 20-year-old car. I don't know. I don't have that, but but can you be okay with it? Or can you be okay with, where you're at? And when you can get to a space of being okay in the present, guess what? You can go forward. But so often, and this was something that, I picked up along the way, and the personal development journey that I was, when I earlier on was you had to be sort of dissatisfied in order to get somewhere. But I'm going to say that was probably the information that was the best thing when I really was able to shift it into recognizing the power of being okay or satisfied where I was at, instead of being like, oh, I don't have enough money. Don't you know I don't have enough money? Right? Like, these are not true statements, by the way. But, you know, and guess what? I could never, but I'd said these statements in other areas at that time, and I could never get any traction, right? It was be like kind of an up. I would get a little bit and then it would just fall off, or I would get something and it would be so exhausting or not satisfying. But when you start from a space of being like, I'm okay right now. This is good, or I'm satisfied. You can be better than okay if that's feels true for you. You can feel as good as you're feeling. Be honest, but get yourself to be in a space of, this is good where I'm at. I'm breathing. I'm moving forward, and focus on those wonderful things in your life, because from there, the momentum builds automatically. It really does. And at first it'll feel a little gradual. And if you've had some momentum in the negative, kind of in that stressful, dissatisfied direction, at first you might feel like, wow, I just need to sit still for a while. I just need to breathe and take a break or relax. But that doesn't last for very long, right? Because your body just feels that shift of momentum of just relief at first. And it kind of feels like that. Like, I just want to sit I just want to chill, right? But then the inspiration starts to come, and it comes from within. It comes from that beautiful space of satisfaction, of really personal empowerment. And that's what I like to call, and we all call Best Life, is a personal empowerment company. So yeah, a personal empowerment community. Yeah.
Love that, Jan. And as you share with this, it's when you are having that momentum and you have more and more. And so what are you feeling in your own way now? How are you feeling about it? You have this ease and flow with you. You are always easy and gentle. I feel always when I speak with you, you always have a solution in everything. You're always having that solution energy in you, and you speak it through and help me included, a lot for moving forward and letting everything unfold more in that direction. And tell me more about that.
Yeah, well, and it's very much of an experiential thing, right? And I say this because there were years before when I would say these words, everything is working out for me, or everything is for me. But they were kind of words at that time. My things were going well. Absolutely. Everything that has preceded me has served me well. All of it. 100%. Wouldn't change any of it. But, there was a time when those were just words. But it really has become such a truth, right? That everything is working out for me. Everything is for me. Everything is from me, and everything is for me, right? So when something comes in that feels a little contrasting or a little stressful, instead of pushing up against it or getting flustered or feeling like, oh my gosh, instead to know and just to breathe, right? Just to take a deep breath and go, well, this is good, right? Because my life has come to show me that. The experiences, the life I've lived, everything has come to show me how everything is divinely working, right? And I know that when I feel good, guess what? The people around me feel good. The things that I desire can come in. Everything I want is in a feel-good space. So if I can, really be in that space of ease and flow and not freak out, I got a flat tire. Got a flat tire. Hey, cool. Right. And really mean that. Really be that, really live that, and be stable in who I am, knowing that everything everything is working out for me. And knowing all that I've asked for, it's all been given. And it all comes just like Best Life came. It wasn't something I was planning. I wasn't something I was plotting. I didn't have it pasted up on a dream board. I didn't have the word Best Life, or anything like that. But it came. And when the universe presented it, and it came to both Scott and I, it was like, yeah, that's everything I've ever asked for. That's what I exactly want and more. And, that comes from being in a space of ease, in a space of flow. And, just allowing that and being that aligned influence, not trying to necessarily talk somebody into something or coax them along or anything like that, but instead just being and just allowing them to breathe, right? If somebody's feeling some stress, letting them breathe, letting them come into a space of, I'm all right. Right in this moment, I'm all right. And from here, I can move forward. Everything changes. Everything opens up. Always. It's like the most magical thing. And I know my words probably didn't do it justice, but it's really how it works.
It's flowing forward.
Flowing forward.
So I love that, because for many people, many experiences, sometimes, they, when you're having a momentum of the opposite direction, you're starting to talk more about it and feel, and then when you do something, but it's always like this availability, the opportunity to start right here in the moment, because like source energy always allowing you to come into its place, because it's always for you, and it's energy to you and through you. So I so appreciate you share, it's like, because immediately when you're honest with what's coming in your way, and don't creating now being in the momentum of let that leading you in the edge of that direction, then you be honest and you shift, and what feels a little bit better, you practice, and also you come into a place where you're meant to be forever and ever more, and to expand more and become more. And I love what you shared there, Jen. So I so appreciate it. It's so wonderful. Everything you share, it's been I feel it in my whole body. It's really, really good.
Me too.
I can listen to you all day long. So.
Oh, thank you, Espen. Well, I have to give you share my appreciation for the daily meditations that you're doing too. This is such a transformational piece, right? When you can really take that time to meditate, to just give yourself those 15 or 20 minutes to feel who you really are. Wow. Then you know your own voice, your own guidance. And it makes it very easy to understand if there's a voice that's coming from outside of you saying, please me, do this for me, or this is your solution, or you need this kind of thing, or come this way, come this way, come this way, right? Kind of that gentle guidance, or here it is. Right. And you just know the difference. And it's okay. The stuff that comes outside of you, it actually becomes very delightful. It becomes, because you appreciate everybody's path. You appreciate everything everybody is doing and how they're contributing to the greater whole of all that is. And it makes you love every political party. It makes you love every person of every nation. It makes you love every belief system. Have a space of appreciation for them without having to be them, right? Because, nowhere do we ever call somebody to say, look at something that you do not like and make yourself like it. That's not it at all, right? It's really saying, generalize out your focus in a way to recognize that we all come from one source. And bless the people, bless the situations, bless all of it for being what it is, and expanding our universe from their own unique, brilliant perspective. So powerful.
So good. Had no words. Now I'm speechless.
It made you speechless. That's a great thing.
It's very good, and I like I always say, you know, you always having this beautiful forward energy, and when you share, and it's so easy to feel good in that direction, and you've experienced by yourself every day. You talk about your story from the morning and how easy you unfold things for you, you know, and just feeling good, go to sleep in the night for appreciation, waking up good, feeling good, and then just letting that feel good now uh, unfold more and have that momentum and more to come. And so inspirational, Jen. So I so appreciate everything you've been sharing here on this best chat with me here. And
well,
thank
you. Yeah, more to come. I love that. Isn't that the most awesome thing? There's always more to come. And thank you so much, Espen, for inviting me and for letting me share. Such a pleasure. Always, always just divine anytime I can spend with you. And thank you. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome, Jen. And do you have any last words to say to people who's listening here?
Yeah. Yeah, you know, right. Absolutely. First, thank you. Thank you for taking, you know, your beautiful time to watch and expand with us. I hope you can feel this, the love. I hope you feel who you really are, and you feel how amazing you are, how unique you are, how irreplaceable you are, how divine you are. And know that you're doing it all right. You're doing everything absolutely right. And everything that has preceded you has served you well. And to delight in the becoming of you, the more that you're always becoming, that you're always coming into. And know that you're loved, valued, and appreciated for exactly who you are. And more to come.
More to come. Thank you so much, Jen.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for being here. So love you guys so much. This was a great interview with our best leader, Jen. Thank you again, Jen. What an amazing hour with you here. Almost 1 hour then, so good.
Wow. It seemed
I think so. Maybe. Or is it like, I don't know, you know, time goes,
wow.
it's just
great.
time and space go so fast when you're enjoying and having fun and just feeling and everything you share is just so much beautiful flow in that energy, and it's always like that with you, Jen. So thanks again, and thanks Tineke for being on the back office here, and thanks for all of you who's been listening to this interview. And like Jen say, more to come, and it's all good. You can start right here, right now, feel better and better and better, and more to come.
More to come.
So,
awesome.
So